All right. Okay. Now, take the clip. Put that there. Good morning. Good afternoon. Wherever we find you. Happy Tuesday. So it's like a murder mystery. Hey, Purdue, how you doing? Jerry, Josh, Joe. What's up, Alexander? Hey, Jag, how you doing? Oh, I am ready for a long weekend. I don't know about you guys. Tomorrow is our Friday. Oh, and I'm so excited. The only thing that's missing is I wish I was in Long Island. I wish I was in Long Island. It's always nice in Long Island at Thanksgiving. Or completely different, on the other side of the U.S., Gig Harbor, Washington. Very special places. So overnight inventory is short. I don't know if it's going to get ugly or if it's going to be just really, really boring and slow, Mr. Simpson. And welcome. Overnight inventory is short. We've got sellers above 30, 31, 32, 35. They're all parked there, right? Every time we go north of 30, we get pelted with contracts, so we come back down. What's up, Hank? Well, good stuff. So we had a little distribution above 18. Now we're back under 18. 18 is kind of the VWAP-ish area. That's why I'm talking about that. Let's go take a look. Now, we should have an inventory correction higher. That's normal business operations. But I think if we take out that 6,700 level, we've got a little bit of junk in the trunk here. That's going to start falling out. There are some short positions, right? Down here, that's where these big bids are sitting there, just waiting for this stuff to fall. Let's see what happens. What's up, Josh? Oh, oh, So far, last night I said, look for bids here, and man, there were bids. We are 21 wide between 17 and 18. 21 wide, that means we spent 10 and a half hours at that level. Now, the lower stops are here. Sorry, should be erased. And that F low, that's what we're looking at, right? 6,700, that F low. That's where all the bids are, right? All the bids are just parked here. And they front ran that level every time we come down. Now we're starting to get a little heavy in the inventory above. Inventory's above us now, even though session inventory is short, but the short-term inventory is above us. So now I'm thinking, okay, maybe we can squeeze off a short. Now I have taken one trade, and I closed my other account. I'm going to open it again, and I'm going to scalp micros with you because I am feeling better. I don't have that brain fog from the flu, which is kind of helpful. JJ, when speaking of inventory, is it a reference to overnight inventory? Overnight inventory. Overnight inventory is from 6 p.m. New York time to when we open, and we look at volume and time spent underneath or above the close. So overnight inventory is short, and the regular normal business transaction is to do this. If overnight inventory is long, then you get this motion. Now the short-term inventory, that's the session, that's the inventory of the session, is short. But on a shorter time frame, it's long because you can see all of these people are stuck here. Yesterday, last night, they're all crammed up here. So this is our pinata low. Pinata low is down here at 6,700. And this is a huge short position between 89 and 96. And they've been front running that short position all night. So I don't know what's going to happen. I would expect this area to be tested. If this 6,700 area does not get tested, then remember inventory is short. And we will go back up, even though the short-term inventory is long. I know that sounds insanely confusing. But you got to think about time frames, right? You got to think about time frame, my friends. And that actually gives me an idea. Do a video about time frames and why they are relevant. They are relevant to situational awareness. See, most retail traders don't make money. Well, one of the reasons they don't make money is they don't know which way they're going. You don't know which is the sky and what's the ocean. So oftentimes, you push the plane into the ocean thinking it's the sky. I've heard about this for pilots. I don't know if it's true or not. Where's Lear? He can correct me. See, you guys don't know which way is up half the time. And that's not a bad thing because this business is not supposed to be that easy to figure out. Otherwise, everybody would be driving Bentleys, right? So it is a little hard to figure out. And that's time frames within time frames, right? That's why we have 1-minute charts, 5-minute charts, right? What I do, 1JK, is I have a trade setup. That trade setup is called the look below and fail, and the look above and fail. Basically, all trades are based on both the mechanics of those trades, the business mechanics of those trades, right? The business mechanics are when supply runs out, you go a little long, you become the supply, right? If you don't understand the business mechanics of a trade, generally it means you really don't know what you're doing. So we've programmed, one thing that we're really excited about with this AI that we've brought out is not only that we've programmed the mental part of trading. So it's like having Mark Douglas sitting next to you. So you got that. And now you also have the business mechanics of the trade that has been trained into the AI from what I teach, right? And so you have like really, really cool resources right at your fingertips for $20 a month. It's like in the old days you'd have to like take out other traders and drop $2 or $3 grand to get the knowledge. You'd have to apply them with drinks and steaks, right? To get the knowledge that you can get from AI for $20, right? Was that how JFK passed away? Junior? Yeah, see the situational awareness, because even if you think overnight inventory is short, there's still selling pressure coming from everywhere here because all these people are long and they're sitting on top of your head pushing down, but not pushing down enough to break that because they see buyers at 10, right? So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to put together resources in this trading room that if you're one of those people who's serious about this, right, this is one of the best times. It's one of the hardest markets to trade, but it's one of the best times to learn because the resources that you have available to you now are mind-boggling. Compared to, I used to have to pay $200 to $300 for a trading book. You'd have to order them, because I was in Vancouver, you had to order them from Wiley Finance in New York. And what was that place? There was a bookstore in Vancouver. And you had to go there, and they were like $250 for a book. And it took weeks to come in, and then you'd read it, and you didn't understand anything. You're like, Jesus. I'm not much better off than where I was. And then came the internet, but there was no YouTube or anything. So how I learned is you'd go and talk to other traders and go, hey, right? And once they trusted you, they'd trust you with their secrets. A kind of difficult way to do business. I mean, you gotta do a lot of favors for people. Definitely a different time. So what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is go check out the AI. You won't be disappointed. If you're serious about trading, it's great. Now let's get back to work and see, look at that. Where's the bid, folks? Someone was asking where's the bid before. The bid's right here. 67.11. Right? Every time we tickle the 11s, the buyers come in. So we've got a little cost basis. Go up over VWAP, do a little skyhook and throw it up here. Try and sell it above 17. Let's see what kind of selling we get at VWAP. There you go, Josh. How's the snow treating you? See, the nice thing about this price spike that we had a spike and another spike. John Kaiser, if you are still alive, this man told me something in 1994. I had no idea what the hell he was talking about, and now I see it clear as day. He used to say, beware of the double triangle, right? That triangle and that one not being able to take it out, it means your sellers are getting desperate. He used to also write this report called the Kaiser Bottom Fisher Report. And he'd tell you what worthless penny stocks were being acquired by big stock promoters to roll a deal into. So people would go and drop like, I don't know, 20 or 30 grand into a .001 cent stock or a penny stock. And then when the promoters took over the shell and railed it a little bit, they'd make sometimes 10 times their money. It was quite a thing. Heavy, wet snow? It's not my formation. It's something that somebody told me, Jam, 30 years ago. And now I understand what he was talking about. That's what I was trying to say. It's not my formation. It's the John Kaiser double triangle. This guy would go through reams of information, all of the securities filings and everything, all before it was public. Like, I mean, on the internet. No, that was the one thing. Oh yes, he also said buy the promoter, not the deal. So you want to buy stock by people who have moved paper before. You don't want to buy stock from a promoter who's never done a deal or who has crappy deals. You know, if a guy's taken 2 or 3 deals from $1 to $20 3 or 4 times, that's you buy the person, you don't buy the deal. Who cares what they're doing? They know how to move the stock, right? You always want to go with people who make you money instead of people who are money vacuums. Hopefully. I think we're going to go test. Exactly. Sell the sizzle, not the steak. You know, get them excited. You would think it's common sense. It's not. That is something they do not teach us anymore. In fact, they try and steer us away from common sense. That way we buy more crap. Cosmo Kramer. Yes, Kramerica. It's funny because the guys in my building, the people I know in my building, it's really like Seinfeld. It's hilarious. Right now, there's some bids just under 11. We got 11 minutes to the open. I'm short biased for some reason, but I'm always short biased because of all of that inventory above us. But if we can't take out 67.11 on the open, we'll pop up over VWAP. Hey, Jonathan. Oh, you're in Chicago. Cool. Never really spent much time there. Always wanted to. Exactly. Was it what was that movie with where they're going after Al Capone? The Chicago Way. He brings a knife, you bring a gun. That definitely describes futures trading. That's right, the untouchables. Yeah, those Chicago pits were no joke, man. You watch those guys, holy cow. Just thousands of them, just it's like a mosh pit. Oh God, you had to bring up all that food, Jonathan. I'm fasting today. I'm trying not to eat for like 36 hours. You guys are talking about deep dish pizza in the room. Okay, back to work. This 11 to 14.15, that's a little position on the 1 minute chart. 1 minute charts are so useful in seeing shifts in short term inventory. Tells you where the sellers stop selling, right? We know our sellers are long way, way underneath 66.66. They're just trying to not scare away the buyers. Sounds good. Thanks, Taco. And my diet thanks you as well. I am going to chill through the open unless I see something that knocks me over the head and says trade. Hey, Mike, what's up? NVIDIA pre-open 174. Gap down. Oh, yeah, look at that. I'm looking at this 179.64 to 195 distribution. Now, I'm thinking if we get under 172 in NVIDIA, you'll get all these folks trapped long. So watch these like little swing lows down here. If we break 172, we'll see what happens. Tomorrow's month end. Hopefully we don't have too much drama going into one month end. Should be nice and slow. Hey Matt, what's up? Hmm. So we had all the PIs come out, right? CPI, PPI, Magnum PI, all that stuff. Anything else on deck? Four minutes till the open. Trying to think of trades off the open. Just making some notes. See, a lot of people like to correlate markets. But how do you correlate inventory? No, how do you correlate one inventory in one market from another? One market you're selling oranges, another market you're selling apples. What's the correlation? Well, of course, buying, you know, a lot of buying, both markets go up, or one goes up, one goes down. But how do you trade that? That's a lot of information to process and then execute on. You want the information that you execute on to be simple, so your execution can be fast and efficient. So you're not stumbling around, bumbling around to trade. That's why your A plus setup should be, it should be rock solid. Right? Your A plus setup is you. It's not the trade, it's you. Have you done the work? Have you stalked the trade? Yeah, you could jag, but in the heat of battle, can you remember the correlation vis-a-vis execution at that time? You see what I'm saying? It's great to have all this data and look at all these things. But what do you really need to take a trade? Just using a little common sense and a touch of business, right? That's why I don't understand why people will go and look at all these complicated things to execute trades. Like right now, I know that there's a seller at 67.16. I mean, it's as plain as the nose on my face. If you can't see that there's a seller at 15 half, 15 three quarters, 16, you got to learn how to read a chart. There's a seller there. There's a group of sellers. You could think of it like a bunch of monkeys sitting on a wall throwing rocks at you. As you get up to that wall, you get pelted with rocks, and then you move down under 14. Right? There's a seller there. So how do you use that in a practical way? Well, I'm not going to go log 14 because if there's a seller at 15, I would like us to clear this level and get above VWAP and then take that run because I know there's going to be sellers here and sellers there. Because at the top of the candle is where the sellers are, right? Yeah, you could do that, but this is more precise, Jag. This is way more precise. Because there, right, you got a place to put your stop. On the volume profile, you got no place to put your stop that's this precise. So if I'm going long 12, my stop is just here. So simple, right? So simple. I know that there are sellers here, so say I pick up some 12 and a halves, right? And I just start selling them, right? See, look at that. Exactly what we thought. Take this and go sell it here. But if we run out of buyers, we're going to come back down into that 13 level. So give that a watch, and let's see where the bid is off the open. Now we're going looking for the bid, right? Through the garden around to grandmother's house we go. There's going to be some stops or a little bit of buying here at 11. Would I go long? No, no, no. I want to see with reaction before I take a trade. Right? This is how you stalk your prey. There's two stops here. So that means over time, more people are sitting there waiting to buy. Interesting, right? I tried to buy 14. It ran away from me, right? Holy, look at that thing run. I tried to buy 14, quarter, and 15. Got left in the dust. In the dust. No soup for you. Now let's see on the backfill. Right? It's looking kind of jumpy. You can't get filled on the bid here. Even with small size, it moves away from you. So let's see if it holds VWAP. Right? Let's see if it holds VWAP. We know that there's a seller here, right? You know there is a seller just before 20. It's telling you. So I bought one at 17 and a half. I'm out at 19. Thank you. Thank you. Come again, as they say in Harold and Kumar. All right. Next seller is going to be here. Top of those candles. Inventory, remember, was short, ladies and gentlemen. We failed to take out these stops. Rotation higher. We know where the sellers are going to be, so please sell into strength. And thank you for traveling. Oh God, I'm short. I need to cover airways. Let's see if we could crack out that 23. There we go. Looking for 25. Oh, sorry. I missed something, didn't I? See, I wasn't prepared. See, there's a seller there. Boom. There's a seller there. That's where your sellers are going to be on the way up. Hope you guys could see that. So what happened? Position, take the position. Now we go sell it in the store. This is the highway to the store. Now we're going to distribute. Hopefully we can stay above 20, right? Accumulate under VWAP, distribute over VWAP. See? Simple. Why overcomplicate things? Look below and fail of 20 back up to 23. I did not catch that. See how the bid is following? Over the last three big candles, right? So what happened? Same as it ever was. Just like the talking heads would say. Shorts come in under 12 to cover. Wholesale builds on top. We start to buy. The dumb money shorts who are short under 14 go to cover, and we yank the supply. It's the same thing every time. It's never changed since the dawn of time. There we go. Now who's short underneath 67.17? Right? I was short biased, but the chart quickly told me, "Hey, fool, you're wrong." So I traded to the long side. Get it? It's like if your charts could talk to you, right? Oh, good stuff, Tom. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nicely done. Now we're going to backfill. Look for your first bids at 22, right? Your lookout bid should be 22 if you're short. If you can't get filled at 22, you know there's no supply for sale at that price. Okay, we're 5 minutes in. How's everybody doing? You guys still awake? Just checking. All right. Cold medication is working well this morning. Looking for 30. Can we goose it? Ooh, close. Close. Oh, we printed 30. We printed 30. See? You could tell where the sellers are going to be, right? You could tell where the sellers are going to be. Good. Now, here comes the test. Are we going to hit a brick wall at 32.5? Survey says. What was that from? Family Feud. Distribution, right? Might as well sell some here, right? We bought it from 12 to 14. You'd be a fool not to fill the 25 bids. If you're looking for a short, remember, the backfill is to 22. Yeah, don't trade half asleep, Travis. Remember the 4-hour chart that I was trying to tell you guys about earlier in the Globex recording? Told you there'd be a seller at 33.25. Charts will tell you so much information if you just look at the simple information that they're trying to tell you. Right? You could tell for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 4-hour candles. There's been a seller at 33.75, 34. I mean, you don't need to read a book on technical analysis to get that, right? So you put information like that together, and then for the really more complicated things and the nuances, if I'm not around, type it into the AI. Because it's like they took my head and stuck it in a jar. Which reminds me of a story. I had this one client who was convinced that the CIA was growing his brain in a jar in Langley, Virginia. He was mad as a hatter. Brilliant man. Could move stock like crazy in his prime. And he knew everybody. But completely barking mad. 67.28. See how the sellers are right there? Look. They're still in the same area that they were before. Right? See? Can't get above that 33. So the sellers are just parked. Every time we get close to 30, they start pelting us with contracts. That's okay. That's okay. I'd love to go take out the overnight low. Right? I'd love to take out the overnight low. I'm just so curious to see what's underneath 6,700. I don't know if I'll get my wish. Nice rotation. 25. You should have been filled at 20 on your lookout bid. Remember what I was saying if you're shorting? Now, you probably would have gotten stopped out in the shorting because it just, boom, too much. You would have had to short under 25, put a lookout bid at 22, and if that filled, then you know that your 20 bids would fill. Right? So say you're short 10 contracts here, and you would have had to have been fast. I wasn't fast enough. Say you were short 10 contracts, 24, 23. You put a lookout bid at 22, and then the bottom of your position here before VWAP, it hits your lookout bid, tells you there's supply. Kaboom! You're covered. Nice trade, and right back down to cost basis. Beautiful rotation, kind of fast though, right? Beautiful rotation, right? That's poetry in motion right there. You take that 12 to 14, 15 inventory, blast it out at 30, buy it back at 18, right? Look at that. Let's see if we can get over 20 now. Now you know where the sellers are going to be. We've been there before. We'll go there again. Do you guys get how this works? No, but long enough to pay for Thanksgiving, Hex. All you had to do is buy 500 contracts between 12 and 14 and sell them along the way. And there you go, right? That's why they say, you know how they always say, Hex, this is funny. What do you define acceptance? I define for me acceptance is enough time for me to go in, steal a couple of grand, and get the hell out before they knew I was there. That for me is acceptance. For some people, you need 2 half-hour periods, right? For me, give me 60 seconds, I'll get in and out. That's all I need, right? Give me 30 to 60 seconds and a couple of cups of coffee, and I'm good to go, okay? That's it. And that's why I say sell into strength, right? Look how they're taking out the lower stops now. Let's shake the tree, right? Selling it underneath cost basis because yesterday's cost basis, this is distribution. Now we're going to go test that overnight low, and let's go test these levels here. This is beautiful. So if you are short, look for bids around 3, 4. This market trades very similar to a penny stock. Very similar. Now, let's see if we get bids or if we could take out this low at F period here. We'll get, should get some selling. Should, in quotes. There's that overnight low. Remember I said let's go test it? We just did. Nice reaction off of it, right? We front ran it by a tick. Let's see where they sell into it, right? They sold into it at 8. They sold into it at 8. So you mark that. Now you know where you are in the zoo, right? So if you are a short seller and you lose your 8 cover, you better cover because the next upper stop is going to be 12 on the 1-minute chart. Watch. Let's see how much size comes in the 4s. We're watching the 4s. Can anybody give me the point of control off the top without me having to move the chart? Here we go. It's going to break anyway. Doesn't matter. There's the overnight low. Let's tag out that stop. Now let's get, here we go. Coming into flavor country. Looking for 96. Come on. Hurt them down there. Right? Just like the song Rawhide. Get them doggies rolling. All right. Here we go. Looking for 96 half. If you're short and it gets under 96 half, you can stay short, but just put your bids in so you get hit. One tick into the singles, found a bid. They're going to sell into it though because inventory's above us. So now we're taking the singles, right? We're filling in that short position. There's a seller under 98. This is good. This is a healthy liquidation. Very healthy. I would not be looking for a long right now because your stop is going to be big. Now we know it's down here, right? Just take it easy, X, on that prop account. Remember, today and tomorrow are the last days of the month. Friday, it's not even worth it. I'll be around if anybody wants to ask questions on Friday. This is where you let the large traders work this out. You don't know what's in here. Let them put their hand in the cookie jar. Okay, just watch that. Don't be surprised if these fill all the way. Looking for 87 and a quarter. Do you guys see how rotational these markets are? Oh, that's an ugly color. Do you see how rotational these markets are now? So now we're going to go into 8 times discount from that cost basis of last night. Single prints are filled. Single prints are filled. Next structural target is 80 and a half. See, now we are underneath. All of these people are puking now. I would say targeting this 66 level would be for larger traders. Oh, sorry, 66.83 and 3/4, and then after that 66.68. Big 4-hour candles too, right? So larger traders who are net short, that 34 area, I told you that there's sellers there. You should have been shorting the 20s and the 30s, looking for a break of 9 and covering some at 83. Do you see how understanding where the sellers are and putting a trade together on a longer time frame, right? How that works. Now we're looking for 68 and 3/4 is the next level down. Nice. The trades make business sense. Right? Remember I said I was short biased. I took a couple of long trades on the scalp, but in the back of my head I was going, where the hell is the seller? Right? They're at 34 like a wall. You can't get past that. So we're going to have to beat it down to 68 or 60, right? We're going to have to beat it down to shake it out before we can take it higher again. So that's 8 times cost basis that we're rolling into. Now you guys can see this is market profile, very beautiful. It shows that's your inventory. It's now trapped long over the overnight low. We took the overnight low and all of these contracts are now falling out like a piñata. Now do you guys understand piñata low? Right? Beautiful. Beautiful. The point of control, oh gosh, it's all the way up here, right at the close, 2,054 contracts. It's not that big. It should move down somewhere here. Going to catch a bid. If we get over 87, you're looking for 90. Yeah, we hit 90. Sorry, I'm a little slow. Apologies. Geez, big bids. Big bids. Look at that rip. I bought 90 and sold 92. Why not? You know? Jeez. Oh, that's good. Okay, I should stop. Right. Looking, there's going to be a sell at that overnight low. You know the deal. Sellers. Next seller, 98. Next seller up here, just under 3 3/4. See, there's the seller. You knew they were going to sell. Right? See you, Hank. Be safe. Beautiful, Jonathan. Hey, 25 points on one ES. You're buying drinks at the bar tonight. Yeah, I miss the old days. That's a beautiful inventory flush. Beautiful. That's really nice. Look for sellers at 2 or before 2. Yeah. Big candles. Well done, Jonathan. Beautiful. If we don't see you tomorrow, have a great Thanksgiving. Eat lots of turkey for me. Uh, Look at that point of control right there. Shorts coming in, hot and heavy. 35 points down, 18 up, right? Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at these big, big, beautiful candles. Look at that nice reversal. Oh, right back up to VWAP. These markets are just beautiful. Now, how many people do we have trap short under 87 and 6,700? We'll see. We'll see. Let's see if we can stay above 6,700. Oh, and this is still A period. We're still in the first half hour. That's like an action movie. There's no build-up, really. Nice distribution. Really nice distribution. Now everybody who sees that will have shorted the crap out of it. Under 66.98 for sure. We'll be able to tell if we can rip over VWAP. Normally there should be a seller here. If there isn't, jeez. First, okay, seller at VWAP, and we should be able to come back underneath the overnight low. Because you usually don't get to the overnight low and stay on the first test. In crayons we trust. How's it going, Leslie? Were you in? You were the one who was traveling, right? Weren't you in Saskatoon? Who was in Saskatoon? God, no. Somebody was visiting last weekend. They said they were saying it's cold. Last candle was minus 14K delta. Well, you better call Delta Force then. Better get Chuck Norris out of bed, brother. Remember that movie, Delta Force? It was a classic. All right. So far, we're sticking the overnight low. Delta Force, classic Chuck Norris movie. You guys. Next thing you say, you're going to not tell me that you've ever seen the original Terminator. Okay, 67.10. Let's see if we can rip out VWAP. If we accept over VWAP, someone short. Gee, I wonder. The day before month end, everybody piling onto this thing thinking it's going to collapse. I don't look at Delta. It's a waste of time. What you see is what you get, AO. I got these two charts. I got the 4-hour chart next to the Discord, just so I know where I'm in the zoo. I like a nice 4-hour chart, and that's it. Why overcomplicate life? Right? I told you that if the market's short enough people are short under 6704, 6698, it's going to get up over VWAP. It's going to shoot right through it. Notice we haven't had a pullback candle yet. You don't really need much more than that. You know, looking for the open, there'll be sellers there. I like simplicity. Right? I don't like looking at 300 different things. Focus, concentration, keep life simple. Make some money, go have a coffee. Boom! Look at that. Did you see that? Someone is short. You don't need Delta to tell you someone's short and that you shouldn't be. Right? I mean, look at that 1 minute candles. Okay, come on, guys. Look at the 1 minute candle chart. I mean, if it's not obvious from that 1 minute candle chart, you got to hit the books, right? You got to start watching my videos over and over again. I mean, that candle chart is like a neon flashing sign that said, exactly, there's no backfill. Why would you backfill? Why would you put it on sale if there was no reason to put it on sale, right? Like if I went position log between 84 and 92, and you're willing to pay me 67.18 for it, why would I sell it at a discount? It's a very steep V, right? It's almost like a Churchill kind of V. V for victory, right? Okay, B period is here, right? But you shouldn't have to look at Delta or anything else to be able to trade that or figure that out, right? Like, seriously. Look at that. Now, if we can't break VWAP on a pullback, it tells you, yeah, look at it, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. These algos are just beautiful chart makers. right? That is just beautiful. Now let's see. You don't even need any lines on here, right? The only reason I have lines is my eyes are bad, so I know where the levels are. Watch. Watch the offer when it gets to VWAP. Let's see how good your concentration is. Watch VWAP, watch the offer. Boom. See, there's a size order underneath VWAP. Another size order. Someone's trying to bang it down. Why? Because the sellers are competing. Well, don't take all the credit. We're about 20% of it. Look how simple that is. You got VWAP. Look how simple that is. Why would you want to look at 300 different things when you're trying to figure out, right? If you're short and your stop should be VWAP, right? Look for covers in the 2 area. These are big candles. You'll probably get covered at 2, right? Have a lookout bid at 2 3/4. Boom, you're filled. Next lookout bid should be 98, right? Coming back, there should be position underneath 98. We should slow down. If not, just use the bottoms of the candles to see where your next out is. Look how simple it is, ladies and gentlemen. If anybody tells you that you need all of this stuff to trade, they're full of crap. See how we're getting bids at 98? Just like I said. Now the seller in the next 2 seconds is going to step in. Let's see where they step in. Right? They will only sell lower if they have to. Why do they have to? Because there's competition. It's a market. It's not a hot tub. Right? There. See how they stepped in? Very simple. Very simple. Right? You don't need anything. All you need is a little bit of knowledge and the ability to pay attention. Right? All you got to do is pay attention. Focus, concentrate. It's a rotational market. These moves are being done by people who are trying to make money before tomorrow. Maybe they had a bad month, maybe they're a little slow, right? But they need to do a little hustling, right? So they'll use the news as a catalyst, right? Consumer confidence, whatever, and they'll route their order flow. Right now, everything's programmed, so it happens before we can even think about it. This stuff is all programmed for contingency. And it'll react to the order flow. Look at that 88 bid. Boom! Let's see if we can take out the top of this candle now. Oh, that's a bit big. Right there. That's where your next seller is going to be. Why did it disappear? Does this help you to see? Now look, the seller has moved. Oh, come on. The seller has moved down here. So if you're a short seller, you're okay, right? That's your backup right there. Your backup's at 96 and then 97. Now, if your backup leaves you, be careful. Be careful. See? Look. Right? This is like when the guy's doing bench press and the guy who's supposed to be spotting him starts talking to a girl. Well, now you got the bar on your neck. See? Told you to be careful. See? If you were short and it took out 96 of that 97 candle, you better cover. Right, now you know the next seller is up here. Does this make sense? You guys see what I'm talking about? It's glaringly obvious. Why would you need delta? If I was short under 96 and they took my 96 lookout offer, lookout cover, or 97 lookout cover, I'm gone. I'm covered. Goodbye. The only reason it stopped at that 4 to 7 level is because VWAP's right there, and there are people above that. But look how simple this is. Do you need delta? Do you need any kind of a technical indicator other than a little bit of common sense to be able to draw where the top of the candle is? That's all you need. This stuff's not complicated, ladies and gentlemen. You just got to be able to focus. Right now we're back above the overnight low, which is helpful in market profile. See, look at that. Right back to VWAP. Look at the rotations. Boom, boom. Beautiful rotations. That's what I mean when I say trade the rotations. As the great Les Grossman would say, right, Hex? I love that movie. It's Tom Cruise's best role. Ugh. See, look, sellers right where we left them. Of course, you got to be quick. Josh, this is the show, right? This is not the Mudville Hens like Brewster's Millions. This is the show. So when you want to trade this, you got to step it up. No, no, Moran. I was just the look. We did have look below and fails. I just don't have the levels on here, so I don't know. Let me go put them back on. You know what I see? I was just trying to show Moran. There's a big look below and fail of 87, right? There's a look below and fail of this level. There's lots of look below and fails, right? I was just taking the stuff off to show people how simple it is, right? This whole thing was a look below and fail, right? And then a look above and fail, right? You know, you do it. I was just trying to illustrate to the people that you don't need 30 million indicators and all this crap to trade a market. Right? You just don't need it. It's a thin book, Travis, because it's month end. And smart people don't blow money at the end of the month. So there are less participants. You see, all the really large traders, Travis, are not at their desks. They're at home with their families. So that's why the book is thin. So this is desperation trading by traders who are trying to make up their month, who didn't really do well or who are offside. Get it? That's why the book is thin. Because nobody wants to show their hand. You know what I mean? You don't want to show your intent by putting huge orders in a book because the other traders are going to come and pick your bones clean. Right? Thin books are caused by, number one, volatility. Number two, time that we're doing business. Number three, size traders will never want to show their intent in a book. That's like me going, I'm coming to buy 1,000,000 contracts. Everyone's going to front run me. Right? Does that make sense? It's strategic. It is not a good time to be slow. Right? This is like trying to be an underwater welder, but you can't swim. or you get claustrophobic underwater. You know, you don't like the water, but you want to weld underwater. Not a good idea. So big rotations, right? Big rotations, back and forth. Just trade those. Trade less. What's next? Back and forth. Let's see if we can stay above 6,700. Yeah, this TPO is getting to be a pain because I squish it all the way. It's barely legible. But if I do this, I got to keep going like this, then like this. If you see a 500 plus size order that fills, right, say there's a 500 bid and it fills, sometimes it'll be trying to coax out a seller. Because most people, when they see a bid of that size, when I see a bid of 500 contracts, by first, I just want to hit it, right? I just want to hit it. When I see a 500 contract offer, I want to step in front of it with size. But I'm a retail trader, so I can't do that. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't pay too much attention to the book. I just look to see, oh, it's thin. Okay. If it's thin, don't be an idiot. You know, you might have to use bigger stops. Don't trade as much. Watch more than you trade. That's what I use the order book for. That's what I use the DOM for. The DOM tells me how loose I can be, or do I have to be really strict, right? When it's volatile, when it's jumping around and stuff like that, you want to be really strict because it's so easy to lose a lot of money. You don't want to be the sucker, right? You don't want to be the sucker that can't control their emotions, right? You want to be the calm, cool, and collected business person. You don't want to swing at every pitch like a rookie, right? So if you're encountering these kinds of problems, you can go and type that stuff into our AI, and you'll be surprised at the analysis that it'll spit back at you, right? See, and that's another one of those things, Hex, where you see those size orders, but you really don't have a way to trade and use that information. And a lot of people will screw up and go, oh man, that's a really big bid, don't buy it there. And then all of a sudden the bid just disappears, right? Or, you know, and they'll get sucked into that. That's why the candles are actual transacted volume. What you see in your order book are expressions of interest, potential orders that could be filled. But the chart tells you, geez, there's a seller right here. The sellers stop selling right here. And you don't need a DOM to see that. It's a visual representation of the transactions that are occurring in a market. Otherwise, you'd be trading off of this. All it's doing is it's taking this and it's putting it into a format that you can see with your eyes, and this way you can build execution parameters around that look below and fail, Moran. There you go. All right, that's why I took the levels off. So I was just trying to show you guys what's possible just by looking at a nice clean chart. And the market was kind of helpful today because it shows some really nice ranges. It's a great market to learn how to use stops. Definitely. Right? So this is kind of hard to trade off of. It can be done. Right? That's how we used to. We just trade off the tape. Right? And you just watch the ask. See how we offered down under 6 and then it popped to 11? That's information. But you just saw that on your chart. Right? See what I'm saying? Much easier to trade off a chart than watching the tape, especially when that tape gets fast. Ooh. You want to be careful when that tape gets fast. Especially if you're not a fast trader. Don't ever trade a fast tape. Tape is like the speedometer, right? If it's just cooking, hey, maybe I should be a little careful. That's all, right? Alrighty. 12 minutes left. The rotations, well, I was going to say the rotations are getting a little smaller, but maybe not. Still have a big chunk of supply overhead. Now, a pullback is a backfill. A backfill is a type of pullback. So, a backfill generally happens, Matt. Let me just clean off the chart again. So, this kind of thing is a backfill. See how we took the market up, then we backfilled, found some buyers, took it up again, backfilled. A backfill is kind of like a temporary sale, right? When you have a big liquidation, that is a different kind of pullback, right? A backfill is a gentle pullback to bring in buyers. It is sort of the least violent type of liquidation. Yeah, you should be loving this price action, Scalp King, and these ranges. Beautiful swings. Just beautiful. And tradable, too. Once you develop the skill, this is entirely tradable. Right? You just got to practice. That's all. It's like anything else. You can see now they don't need to sell under 4 for now. We'll see how long that lasts. See? They just, once we get to 4, they stop selling. See? So they've got inventory here, here, and enough people see this price stability, they'll come for this. And here's the beautiful thing, okay? Here's the beautiful thing. These up and down motions, when you do this, it's like a washing machine. Because what you do here is you jam out the trapped longs, then you get people short here and you rip them out, then you get people long here and then you rip them out, and then this back and forth, if you get price stability, you'll have cleaned up all the overhang and then you can pop it. And if we do pop, we'll pop up into this big red box. Right? That should be interesting. I don't know if that's going to happen. We might need to take it lower before we could take it higher to shake it out a little bit. If we do, I'd be looking for, oh, it's not going to let me do that. Here. Just here. See the bottom of this candle? That's it right there. That's my target. If this low breaks, then here, and then this area here. Do you see this as downside targets? Because that's where they stopped selling before. You see? So if I was short, because there's obviously a seller at whatever that is, 14, right? So you know there's a seller at 14, just like there was a seller here. And if you're shorting it, it stays under VWAP, that's a good sign, right? So if you're short now at 8, go put some bids in at 4.5 and see if you can get tickled. Because that overnight low is going to have bids. See? If you rewind, see, look, there's the bid. There it is right there. See? There it is right there. Rewind that. Right? I would rewind this and you watch that. Then you'll start to see. Now let's see. Are those bids still there? Watch this low. You're watching this low right here. Watching the overnight low. Can we get underneath it? And then the next low is going to be right at 6,700. Looking for the bid. The bid went out for coffee. It's not back yet. Now, this is not a trade. This is to observe. Right? If you are in a trade, remember how I said put those bids in? If you were short 8, buy a little back at 4. And if you're still short and it breaks the overnight low, I'd go 96, 96 and a half, 97. I'd put bids there. If those bids don't get filled, I'd start taking the 98 offers. See, now you'll see your delta go up because people are taking the offer. When you run out of supply on the bid, people take the offer, delta goes up. That's all delta is. Right? That's why sometimes you'll have the delta negative and the market going higher because all of the buying is being done on the bid. The size is just moving the bid higher and getting hit. That's all. But this way, if you just watch the offer, you know that they're taking the offer because it's moving higher. Does that make sense? Rewatch this and see how simple it is. The thing is, do you want to trade in a complicated manner or do you want to trade with simplicity? I promise you, if you keep it simple, you're going to be way more profitable than if you overcomplicate this stuff. You don't need to overcomplicate this. It's just common sense and a little bit of business skill, right? That's all it is. And repetition and discipline, right? Those are the sucky parts, right? Repetition and discipline. People hate that. God knows I did, right? I'm right there with you, right? I wish I could just do this with my eyes closed, but I can't. All right? So remember, folks, there will be no sessions on Thursday and Friday. For those of you in the room, I'm working on a bunch of execution-related videos, and then the time frame video. So that's what I'll be doing after tomorrow. Good distribution. I have no idea what's going to happen next. It's like a murder mystery. Nice work, G-Mans. Well done. Welcome to the room. If you are a seasoned trader, there is a ton of opportunity. If you are a rookie trader, this is a great market to learn. So when the next time opportunity comes up like this, year ends are always very good for opportunity if you know what you're doing, right? And that's what we attempt and what we will. If you're with us long enough and you put in the work, it's just a business. It's just a simple business that requires dedication and discipline. That's all. Also, it helps to admit if you're wrong quickly, so you don't blow up all your money. Right? Good stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you go. Have a wonderful trading day. We will see you tomorrow morning at 7:30 in the morning UK time for our London Open session. Please visit us at tradingsyndicate.org. And I know I've been talking up this AI. I'm going to put the link in there for you guys. They have NinjaTrader TPO charts. It's called Rancho Cucamonga or something like that. It's an add-on from what I remember. I don't use NinjaTrader, but they do have TPO charts. For sure they do. Thanks, everyone. Trade safe out there. And come join us at the Trading Syndicate. You'll learn more in a week than you will in 5 years anywhere else. All you got to do is ask. Have a great trading day. Bye for now.